really quite an honor at this time to be working with a doctor like Dr. McCord. You know, the information that he has put out is published in some of the most well-respected, scrutinized, peer-reviewed literature, like, for example, Free Radical Biology and Medicine, an incredibly powerful journal. But these articles and these studies that he has published really make it clear that this is very, very powerful chemistry.
For Dr. McCord's discovery of superoxide dismutase and his contributions in free radical biology, he was awarded the Elliott Cresson Medal. Dr. Joe McCord has devoted his life's work to the study of free radicals, their role in aging, and the many problems associated with aging.
Our bodies are producing hundreds of millions of free radicals at any given time. And the notion that we're going to put out that fire or quench that number of free radicals with a single capsule of, for example, vitamin E or vitamin C, really, when you think about it, doesn't make much sense. Rather, the approach is to turn on the genes to make huge numbers of copies of antioxidant chemicals in our body, things like catalase and superoxide dismutase and glutathione.
Consumers spend billions every year on antioxidants in the form of food and supplements, hoping to reduce these free radicals. But antioxidants from these sources can only eliminate one free radical for every one antioxidant molecule you consume. Taking one Protandim 1 time per day for 30 days turns on these anti-aging enzymes in your body. Your own enzymes eliminate free radicals at a rate of 1 million to 1.
I think any other supplements that are designed to be antioxidant supplements probably are no longer needed, because Protandim solves that problem in a much more effective way.
So the danger of these free radicals when they're produced as a normal part of our physiology is they induce what is called oxidative stress. And we can consider oxidative stress to be essentially rusting of the human body. And it's not just the parts, but we actually damage our DNA. The very genes that make us who we are to some degree are damaged by the process of oxidative stress, meaning that we can't heal properly and our bodies are more prone to aging.
We found, as many other scientists had documented, that there is a progressive increase in T-bars in your blood the older you get. When these same people took Protandim for 30 days, the age-dependent increase in lipid peroxidation was completely eliminated. After Protandim, we could no longer distinguish the 80-year-old from the 20-year-old.
Universities around the world continue to initiate and fund their own studies of Protandim and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the hundreds of problems associated with aging.
Many academic scientists at a number of universities have begun studying Protandim because it represents a new tool. It represents a way of reducing oxidative stress that wasn't available before. There simply was not a good way of doing what Protandim does. The ingredients in Protandim were actually selected because they're largely metabolized by the liver, which does not interfere with most prescription drugs, which are generally metabolized by the kidneys. So the immediate benefits of Protandim are within several days, the biochemical markers of oxidative stress begin to decrease. And while these are immediate improvements, you may not sense that these things are happening, just as you can't sense what your cholesterol level is if it's high or low. Protandim doesn't interfere with other supplements. Supplementation is generally not required.
We've got to have the hard science behind products that we recommend. And unfortunately, there are a lot of products out on the market today that do not have the science that they need. Protandim has the science that you can depend on.
This is the paper that showed the synergy. The synergy of Protandim caught us all by surprise. It was far more than we hoped for. You might say, why'd you put 5 ingredients in Protandim? Why not just pick the best one? Our bodies don't let those ingredients in. Our guts keep out most of those ingredients. So you can get low concentrations of each of the 5, but not high concentrations. No matter how much you take, you're limited to a low circulating amount. What this slide shows is if you look at the individual contributions of those 5 ingredients, control is nothing. Ashwagandha is the first ingredient, essentially nothing by itself. Bacopa, nothing. Green tea, that's actually negative a little bit by itself. Silymarin, okay, something there. And curcumin, also negative. You put those all together, and you get the red bar on the right. That's what synergy is. A lot of people may look at the label. They may say, well, I've heard of several of these things, and I've been taking curcumin for the last 3 years. Why do I need to take Protandim, which may be more expensive than my bottle of curcumin? This is the reason. You can't do it with curcumin alone. You can't do it with any two of those. All 5 of those contribute to this powerful synergy in this particular endpoint, 18 times more than we expected to see by the sum of these individual low concentrations of the ingredients. The second paper showed that the 5 ingredients produce this huge synergy, that each ingredient acts at a low and pharmacologically attainable dose. Sometimes there are papers published showing that in a petri dish, curcumin can do this great thing. Well, your body is not a petri dish. For your body to use curcumin, you have to take the curcumin capsule, and it would have to be absorbed and transported through your body. That's what's limited. It doesn't happen. A little bit of curcumin gets in, not much. Protandim works because the 5 ingredients, it's okay if they're at low concentration. 5 things at low concentration, working together, amplifying the NRF2 activation is what does the trick. And specific ratios are important. So there's synergy, there's low dose effectiveness, and there's a specific ratio of these 5 ingredients. This paper also showed that glutathione is dramatically increased, nearly 4-fold, by treating cells with Protandim. And it's not because Protandim contains the precursors you need to make glutathione. It doesn't. How's it working? It's causing the enzymes that make glutathione to be produced. That's the part that's rate limiting. The mechanisms are very different. This shows cysteine, one of the key amino acids in glutathione, gets into your cell, and the enzyme shown there in blue, glutathione synthase, is upregulated by Protandim, so you can make GSH, glutathione, an important antioxidant protectant in your cells. But amazingly, what limits the amount of glutathione most cells can make is not the amount of cysteine that's circulating through your body. There's a little protein there called XC-, and it's a turnstile protein. If your cell is like your local branch bank, it may have a revolving door to get into that bank. And this protein lets cysteine get in one side of that revolving door, but only if another molecule, glutamate, is coming out the other side of that revolving door. So it's like a heavy door that it takes 2 people to push to get one in and one out. That's one of the most powerfully upregulated genes by Protandim. And that's the part of this whole glutathione synthetic pathway that's limiting. That's the slow point. You may have cysteine lined up outside the bank waiting to get through. If you don't have a working door or enough doors in that bank, no matter how much cysteine is waiting outside, it's not going to happen. So making glutathione is not getting more cysteine into your body or acetylcysteine or any precursor. It's about upregulating those enzymes that can put it together and make it for you.
We've got to have the hard science behind products that we recommend. And unfortunately, there are a lot of products out on the market today that do not have the science that they need. Protandim has the science that you can depend on.